The topic of our presentation is how business react to social risk by using equality map and give action advice. In this presentation, we are going to explain the importance of inequality risk. Then, we find our methods for business to address social risks and suggest the following three approaches: investigating the equality map, creating a future disclosure framework, and finally, offering an action plan for management. Now, I'm going to explain the importance of inequality risk. Let's start by looking at some real-life example of inequality risk. In 2020, Winston experienced a protest in its India factory. 2,000 employees accused Winston had not complied with their negotiation and only paid half of the salary. In fact, you can see that the decision is unfair to employee. Eventually, this protest turned into an insurrection. The factory is seriously vandalized, and Winston made a loss of $1.7 billion. So we can conclude that when there are inequality in business, will lead to social unrest and become a risk of the society. So it is necessary for business to take action and manage inequality risk. Meanwhile, according to KPMG, most businesses assume that inequality is a social risk. However, many businesses still not yet prepared to face this incoming sustainability risk. Nowadays, we have TIFT to investigate business environment. TIFT thinks that disclosure is an effective way to reduce inequality, and they will publish the inequality disclosure framework in 2024. However, until now, business still have no idea in managing inequality risk. So, how business should react to social risk? First, to get a handle on how businesses are dealing with risks, we picked those top 5 industries in Taiwan. Next, once we understood the risks facing business, I'll study deep into these top 5 industries using 3 steps to see where inequality exists. Then we put together a list of suggestions for improvement. The first step is what we call the inequality map. It basically shows how enterprises are doing in terms of inequality. Let's talk about gender equality in the workplace. From our survey, it is clear that women are falling behind men in both employee numbers and pay. One big reason might be that more women than men apply for maternity leaves, showing that women still end up shouldering most of the family responsibility. It leads to a glass ceiling and job discrimination against women, and it makes companies either fire with fewer women, hire fewer women, or pay them less. And issue 2 is equal employee. Even though the law says companies should hire a certain number of disabled people, our survey found that 32% of companies are not meeting the target. We think it's because the job requirements don't always match up with what disabled employee can do, and there's still a lot of bias in the workplace. Another indicator of equal employment is the employment of older workers. The average ratio of older employees stands at 16.82%. Bias in the workplace against their ability to handle their job leads to this lower ratio, and the higher costs associated with hiring older workers only worsen the situation. Even though investigation didn't uncover any instance of company breaking sexual harassment laws, a study by Weifubu revealed that there have been as many as 2,100 cases of workplace sexual harassment in the past 5 years. This indicates that sexual harassment still exists in Taiwan workplace. The main reason might be that employees don't trust the complaint system, and victims are afraid of facing up retaliation if they speak up. 6% of companies don't even have a way for employees to suggest improvements, and even when they do, many of these systems are not properly supervised, so the suggestions often don't lead to any real changes. Next comes the action plan. We aim to provide concrete and referenceable action plan for all enterprises facing similar issue or situation of inequality. For example, we can use the 5P approach, like perception, peak, placement, professional, preservation to compose a management recommendation framework. Then break down those suggestions into short-term and medium to longer-term goals. Our plan 1 is Improvement Plan for Workplace Identity Equality. It's talk about making sure companies don't treat employees differently because of things like gender, age, or race. Our plan aims to stem up any potential discrimination in the workplace. For example, we suggest that companies adapt anonymous resumes similar to return path. That means crafting resumes without photos or personal details like gender or age. Just focus on the skills and the ability of the applicants. And when it comes to the talent development department, we recommend setting up a clear idea for new employees on how to prevent bullying and discrimination in the workplace, along with easy ways for them to report any issues. As for medium to long-term goals, we advise ensuring equal access to workplace training resources for all employees within the company. For example, gender bias is a common issue in Taiwanese workplace. To address this, CPC Corporation established a program for senior talents, offering opportunity for women to study abroad. Regarding short-term goals for talent retention, to avoid legal disputes and employee dissatisfaction, it suggests that the company ensures transparency and independence in the campaign procedures. We recommend establishing a committee dedicated to handling such incidents. Alternatively, they could follow Momo's example and set up an Employee Assistance Program, EAP, to provide consulting. When we talk about medium to long term, since only 6% of dads apply for a paternity leave, it's evident that in Taiwan, most family responsibility fall on mothers, so companies should create a culture where both men and women share these duties. One idea is to set up a dads club to support dads or ensuring they are not treated differently for taking leave. This can encourage more dads to set up in child care, easing the load on moms.
Although our action plans based on data provided by companies, many enterprises either do not disclose or only partially disclose their equality data. We believe that the impact of undisclosed data on equality is significant. Therefore, we have also developed guidelines and frameworks for the disclosure. This is the brief structure of guidance, mainly divided into governance, strategy, risk management, and indicators and goals. And this structure outlines how companies should disclose. Companies might be wondering how to actually go about disclosing these details. Here's our suggested roadmap for future disclosure. Start by making changes from the top. We recommend setting up an independent committee within the board to oversee inequalities, and then plan out short, medium, and long-term strategies to address inequalities throughout the companies. Third, evaluate both internal and external risk and put controls in place accordingly. Finally, set up control methods based on the indicators and goals we've outlined. In terms of what held us back and what we could do better in the future, there are a few things to consider. First, since TIFD is a fresh topic, there wasn't much existing literature to dig into. Secondly, without an official TIFD management framework, and with different companies disclosing their information in different ways, it was difficult to line up the data. Lastly, our study focused only on large companies, so we missed out on what has happened in the small one. In the future, once an official management framework is established, we hope to compare it with ours and see how it holds up. Additionally, we didn't dive very deep into the financial aspect, so that's definitely something worth to explore in the future. So this is our reference, and thank you for your listening.